Good morning, children. This is Kristen with Weathering Reader, once again coming in with the new year to talk about the first book I read, and that was What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky by Lesley Nneka Arimah. So this is a short story collection written in 2017, and the stories in this compilation range from fantasy to sci-fi to folklore to literary fiction to just plain drama. There's a very strong focus on family and consequences, and honestly, it left me with a pretty big question. Is it too early to have a favorite book of 2019? So before I start the actual review, I want to kind of say how I review books and how I go into my 5-star system. 1 star is for plot. And of course, that's just saying that it has an engaging, interesting, or at least relevant plot. Another star goes to invoking emotion, and that's any kind of emotion from me. That's honestly a difficult star to earn most of the time with me, but that means any emotion. That means whether it made me laugh, it made me mad about injustice, it made me sad, it made me incredibly happy. Never rage though. I think that rage-filled hate that comes with reading a really bad book should not count in this aspect, obviously. I do 1 star for importance, and that is whether or not the central message to the thing carries an importance to it or is relevant at all. The last 2 stars is for one category, which is the biggest one for me, and that is character. Nothing else in your story is going to matter unless you have good characters. No one's going to care about the plot. No one's going to care about the message that it's saying if you don't like the people that you're following. So going into that, let's review what it means when a man falls from the sky. I swear with this video, there's going to be several cuts of just me saying when a man falls from the sky because I can't remember half the title. So for this book, it is an easy 5 stars. Not only is it able to convey very well developed characters, but it is able to rip your heart out with their emotion. With that said, this is a book of short stories, so conveying so much importance, emotion, and good character development in such a short amount of time is a feat of its own. Even in the surreal fantasy stories of this, you are able to feel very real emotion, and there's such a realness and a heart-wrenchingness to everything that the women in these stories have to go through. For me, this book's biggest strength was its focus on family. The first few stories wonderfully highlight different types of families and their struggles. They show the consequences of not learning your family's past, the consequences of ignoring what you don't want to see, the consequences of using your family to your advantage. Honestly, each story is more heartbreaking than the last, especially the ones for me regarding motherhood. The ones regarding motherhood, the strongest were Bucci's Girls and Who Will Greet You at Home. The unnamed struggles of being a mother are highlighted so well. In the strongest story in here, which is Who Will Greet You at Home, these struggles are shown the best. It takes place in a fantasy world where it's only women and they have to make their children out of one material. And this is a story that showcases intention versus ability. In that, the mother wants to make her child out of soft and delicate things like silk, like yarn, like cotton, to make sure that the baby grows up a soft and gentle person. But the life that she lives is very unable to support something so delicate. With that, it unflinchingly looks at the heartbreak a mother has to go through whenever she realizes that she can't be enough to make sure that her child survives in the world. And there's something so slap in the face staggering about it. So the rest of the stories deal with consequences, decisions, self-realization, sexual abuse, grief, and even a little bit of folklore. Honestly, the weakest story, while having a wonderful plot, was the title story, which was What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky. And that takes place in a futuristic world where everything is formulaic and can be measured and can be solved. So mathematicians are the most important things in the world, and there's formulas for everything. There's even formulas that solve the hold of gravity, where you can fly, and it can identify and solve grief and take away burdens from people. And though this one had a wonderful premise, I didn't think the characters were as developed in this one. It just seemed like too big of a story for such a small space, because you have to talk about quite a lot, especially in introducing the world that you're in. Honestly, I would love to see this author do an entire book based off of this, so she can have the time to well develop the characters and really develop this world. Like, it would be so fascinating. It's one that I think would be a really big science fiction like masterpiece if she was able to perfect it. So if you're listening, I ship you and I ship this book. I need it in my life. Honestly, that is my only other complaint with her, is that I wanted more, and I wanted more short stories. I just wanted to keep reading and reading and reading everything she had to write. Like I said, first book of the year, already 5 stars. I feel excellent about this, and I am just way optimistic for the rest of the year. And honestly, this one makes me optimistic about a lot of things. I most definitely recommend it. I know I will be revisiting, recommending, and lending this out as much as possible. Read it, guys. Hope y'all have a good day. Later, taters.